Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Day to all of you following us in Nigeria and in the diaspora. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Tuesday edition of Money Radio. And today, being Tuesday, we are discussing agribusiness from Leadership Podcast. The topic we are discussing today is channeling the energy of Nigerian youth to agriculture to stem the rising cases of internet fraud as Yahoo, ritualistic killing, and other forms of criminality. And in the studio to discuss the issue with me is Mr. Paul Uwadima. Mr. Paul, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And I must say, it's always a pleasure having you in the studio. I'm your host, Case Hammond. So, in recent times, in fact, I wouldn't say recent times, it is every day we hear different information, different news, different development of how cruel people are becoming when it comes to issues of ritualistic killing, when it comes to the issue of fraud, internet fraud, and face-to-face fraud, as well as other forms of criminality. We're talking about channeling all of the energies because it takes intelligence to defraud people, of course, especially when it comes to internet fraud. It takes intelligence. And we're talking about channeling all of that energy and all of that intelligence into agriculture to stem the rising tide of this untoward attitude or untoward development that is growing in the country, and it's a serious one. So, Mr. Paul, welcome to the studio again.
In fact, the issue you raise is very important because the issue of ritual killings for money by Yahoo or ritualists who believe that they can make money through the killing of another person or through the killing of family members, chopping their body into pieces and taking some of the parts to the herbalist is one of the worst things to have happened to this country, and it's a cancer that needs to be cut off before it gets to the level where it will consume the whole society. And that is the idea that money could be made by killing people. Because that is a lie from the pit of hell. That is not how to be rich. That is not how Bill Gates became one of the richest men in the world. That is not how Warren Buffett became one of the richest men in the world. That is not how Sir Louis Ojukwu, the first president of Nigerian Stock Exchange and perhaps the first billionaire to ever come out of Nigeria. Louis Ojukwu was a clerk with John Holt. It is from John Holt, as a clerk, he started buying and selling and went into motor transport business and became a billionaire. So there is a process. In Newton's law, third law, he said for every action there is equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Which means when it comes to money, you cannot get anything for nothing.
Yeah.
You must pay a price. What is the price you have to pay? You must provide service. When you provide a service that is needed, then money will come to you, because money is only a means of exchange, used to exchange service or product or produce. So what our youth need is to be taught how to be productive. And first of all, their mind has to be changed. Because
this abuse?
Because it is their mind, they conceive the idea from what they have heard, from what they think is their worldview. It makes them to think that to be rich, you need to kill people, you need to be involved in ritual killing. So it's very important that their mind be changed. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So if you don't change their mind, they will not even embrace the points you are going to make about agriculture being productive, being an avenue for them to exercise their intelligence, for them to show their knowledge. That misguided knowledge that they are wasting in Yahoo, that killing of innocent people. If you don't clear their mind, telling them the fact that you can never be rich by killing other people, by killing children, by decapitating their body, by selling body parts. It is not possible. If it were possible, the herbalist that was selling the idea to them, he could have been rich, because the herbalist need money. He want to be wealthy. Why is he not doing it? And he's ready to deceive young men and women into crime and criminality. And they need to pay a price for what they are doing. So the important thing is for the churches, the mosques, the society, to first of all let these children know that it does not work. Because if they don't, you don't change their mind from that perspective of seeing anybody who acquired money as being somebody who did something ritualistic, therefore they want to go and copy. It is going to be difficult for us as a nation. So that is the first thing. So we need a lot of work to be done there. Then coming to the issue of how do you channel these ideas, these innovations of the young people who are involved in this into a more productive venture like agriculture. You see, we are living in an ICT age. The knowledge of ICT is applicable everywhere, including agriculture. So young men and women who are ICT savvy can key into the agricultural sector in so many ways.
And there is
a lot of opportunity for them there.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? Because they can develop apps that can help farmers. There is apps that can contain information about the price ranges of every agricultural produce in Nigeria. So people can develop it and sell this app and make a lot of money from it. So that farmers can, at the press of a button, can know the price of rice in all the markets, major markets in Nigeria. They can press and know the price of palm oil in every market in Nigeria.
And that is value addition.
They can press their button to know the price of cocoa everywhere in Nigeria. They could press the button on their phone to be able to know the price of cassava everywhere, garri everywhere. All these things are things that the youth can channel their energy to develop applications that can help the sector and the rich themselves, because they will be meeting a need. There's a need for them to develop app that can, even in collaboration with other scientists and knowledgeable people, that can even categorize the Nigerian agricultural lands in such a way that farmers can be able to know when to plant, when to harvest, when to weed. All these things are possible.
When and where?
Taking into consideration our geographic diversity, our weather diversity between the north and south, and between several landscapes across the country. So it is something that the youths who are into Yahoo, which is a misleading way of making money, can go into this. And this is more sustainable. The world will help them if they can be able to develop apps that can be able to tell farmers when to plant, when to harvest, when to weed. Go into identifying where you can get the best of seedlings for every crop in every geographic zone in this country. This is the things that we need our youth to apply their knowledge. It is not to steal people's identity, hiding in Nigeria, steal people's identity and use it to be defrauding, stealing their money, their bank accounts. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So what we need is to apply this knowledge. And these things are not rocket science. Are you getting it? Some of these youths, as I said earlier, they are tech savvy. They know how to manipulate the phones. Are you getting it? They can go into marketing. Just have platforms. Go to the market, go to people who are producing agricultural produce. Take pictures of all these things. Put it out there in public. They can act like middlemen so that they liaise between the producers and the consumers.
Yeah.
Because with that, they can be able to project what a farmer had want to say. They show it out. The person say he need it in so and so geographic location. You tell him how much you have to add for transportation. I have somebody who is going to bring it for you. And in the process, you get employed. People who think that money rolls to people just by magically. So the best way to do it is when you kill somebody, then you go and lie down on your bed and money will be rolling out for you. It is not. It's a misguided orientation that needs to be changed. So there is a lot of opportunities for the youth to take advantage of the agricultural sector. Some of them can even go direct into production. Nigeria is a rich agricultural land. There is virtually no agri produce that is not successful in Nigeria, that cannot be cultivated successfully in Nigeria. Are you getting it? So there's a market. We have a population of over 200 million. These 200 million, they are markets. And I'm not a Malthusian theorist adherent totally. In as much as I know that there's need for control of population, for people to produce children that they can take care of. But I know that population is an advantage.
Yeah.
Nigeria has over 200 million people. There are 200 million mouths to feed. So it's an enormous opportunity for the agricultural sector because all these 200 million Nigerians or more need to be fed on a daily basis. It's a consistent thing. They cannot live without eating. I have never seen an opportunity as enormous as this. Just like the population of China gives them opportunity in the agricultural sector. China is about 1.4 billion. India is about 1.2 billion. And you hardly see even India complaining about their population these days. There was a time the world used to contribute food to India.
Yeah.
But India is virtually self-sufficient because it has learned how to put the population of the country into productive use through scientific agriculture, through innovation. And this is what we need to do in our country, to the youth. And let them realize that that is where you can be sustainably wealthy. Because if you look at the history of millionaires and billionaires in America, people like Rockefeller. Rockefeller have been dead for over 100 years now. Rockefeller Foundation is still there. Rockefeller companies are there. They are sustainable. These are sustainable wealth we are talking about. Even the people think that they are rich in Nigeria, that they must have done ritual killing and became rich without considering that it is true. How many of their companies are alive today? Many of them are dead and nobody hears about their company. To show you that ritual killing does not give you sustainable wealth. Because if it does, when you look at the top 20 richest people in the world, perhaps they would have been Africans.
No, of course.
But they are not.
So
the top richest people are people who have ideas. In the agricultural sector, you can see how I'm throwing up ideas here. And that is how people in America and elsewhere throw up ideas and people catch it and they make use of it. And that is how to become wealthy. It is about the ideas, the thinking. What problem can you solve? How are you going to make food available in one part of the country or the other? Former governor of Abia State and now Senate Whip, Sir Ojo Sokan, he made an interesting revelation the other day when somebody was questioning his source of wealth. How did he start in business? He said, as a student at University of Maiduguri, when he got to University of Maiduguri, he discovered that in Borno State, palm oil was a precious commodity. So what did he do? He said anytime he was on vacation in the East, he made sure he buys as much palm oil as he could get to take to Maiduguri. And as he goes to Maiduguri, he sell it and make profit. When he is coming back from Maiduguri to the East, he knew that Mangala fish is highly priced. So what he does is buy Mangala fish from Maiduguri and take down to Aba in the East and sells it there and make profit. So he's going to school, he's going back to school, he goes with profit. He comes back, he comes with profit. That is the mentality of wealth creation. It is not about killing people. It is about taking ideas, seeing what is lacking in the society. If you know the price of Gary where you are schooling, and you are staying in a place where it's cheaper, Why don't you go with bags of gari when you are going back to school and sell it? If you know the things that your area that has gari, but they didn't have granite oil, why don't you do something about it? These are ways that young people can key into money making, and they make genuine money, which does not add any sorrow.
Yeah, it does not add any sorrow. You speak well about the issue because this is saddening. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we want to look at a few misguided attempts to make money out of um, ritualistic killing, and then we'll do a summary after that. Let's just take a short break, and we'll be back soon. Stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back. You're still on to Money Radio from Leadership Podcast, and we are on the agribusiness segment of the program. And the topic we're discussing is channeling young people's energies from ritualistic killing and all sorts of social vices to agriculture. And Mr. Paul, I could see that you were even becoming breathless as you discussed the issue during the first half of this program. It is actually a sad one because to give you just a little background of what is going on, a few weeks ago, a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, I saw the name of his wife on on the social media that she was missing. And so I called, and they confirmed that she was missing, only for the police a few days after to find that this lady she was cut into pieces and her parts buried in a compound. Good thing they found those people. Or it turned out to be that the man was a herbalist, the person. And this herbalist, as the story goes, is the one who assisted this woman in her delivery of two children. Yes, she delivered two children of this lady. He's a herbal doctor, but he turned his talent into a vice, killing people for ritualistic wealth. And just yesterday, we heard about how a woman, I didn't read the story, but I heard about how a woman suggested the killing of her younger son to the older son and poisoned the boy's food. He died, and cut his body into pieces, and were going to do ritualistic killing for the elder brother to get rich. You hear these stories every day, and it makes me wonder: is it because the National Orientation Agency is not getting enough money to disabuse people of these lies, these misguided attempts to get, because I wonder how a person, a woman, a mother will suggest and then kill her younger son to make money. It sounds preposterous, really.
In fact, that's why the whole thing has to do with reorientation. It has to do with the mind. When we started, I told you that the sustainable solution to this problem is the changing of the mind of the young people and the changing of the mind of the society. The idea that nobody could be rich unless the person did the ritual should be disabused from the mind of Nigerians, because there is this tendency in this country to believe that success equates ritual killing. When somebody is successful, instead of trying to understand how he made his money, people reach a conclusion that it must have been through ritual killing. And people are buying into it. Young people are buying into it, and they now want to practicalize it. So that's the most important thing to do in this country now is let's change the mind. And National Orientation Agency you mentioned can play a key role. Let me tell you one of the things they can do. You know, right now, a lot of herbalists are being arrested as the police keep on arresting perpetrators of these killings.
Yeah.
Good. These herbalists should be arranged together by the federal government and let them, whether it is a way of granting them amnesty for the horrendous crime they have committed, so that they arrange a program for them to tell our youth that they are being deceived, that these things doesn't work. Because unless this is removed from their mind that it doesn't work, if you allow them to continue to think that it works, I can bet you that the young men and women and some adults will keep on trying and trying. Are you getting it? So there is a need for mind change. Then there's also the parenting. There is little or no parenting in Nigeria right now. Because of the economic situation, the mom is out, the dad is out, everybody is out. Children are left on their own. So there is no effort to teach morality to the children. There is no effort to let them understand the processes of money. That is not anyhow that you can make money. There are the right ways of making money, there are the wrong ways of making money, and that they should avoid those wrong ways. So children are not being taught this. And in the school, the schools have also failed. But not only the schools that have failed, the society generally appears to be serving mammon, in the sense that they worship money now, no matter how it was made. So that is one of the reasons why people are ready to do anything to grab money. That is the danger we are in.
What
People
can
are not
religious
being
organizations do?
No, what the religious organizations can do is to use biblical and Quranic teachings to let them understand that the path they are following will lead them to hell and nothing else. They will go to hell right here in the world, because they will go. Many of them will be arrested. They will be charged according to the law. They will end up in prison where they rightly belong, because anybody who can kill another person, cut the person in pieces, does not have to be in the same society with the rest of the society. They need to be put away. Okay? And when they die, they're also going to burn in eternal hellfire. They need to get this very clear. It need to be drawn on their head. And you know, social media is also one of opportunity for them to learn something good, but it has also been turned as an avenue to learn even the worst of things. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The display of wealth by our politicians. Our politicians give impression that you can become rich without doing anything. All you have to do is win an election, and then money will be rolling onto you. And I even those who claim that our politicians also participate in all these kind of ritual killings and all that to win power. Only God knows.
No, that is another aspect of it.
So the truth of the matter is that the mindset needs to change. And that mindset, when it has been changed, the government should now show the youth opportunities in all the sectors, including agriculture. There's enormous opportunity in the agricultural sector that the youth can add value. We have over almost 40% youth unemployment in Nigeria. You can imagine
43.
And most of these youths lucky enough for the country, they are tech savvy. They can understand how the internet works. They can understand how the digital world works. So why don't we harness it and use it in the agricultural sector instead of allowing them to be using it as a yahoo to deceive people and be giving bad name to the country. Some of them ending up in jail. Some of them EFCC running after them. This energy could be turned productively. In China, advanced free fraud that we do here is not common because the system checks it.
Yeah.
Now, those knowledge are being applied in all manners of technological development in the agricultural sector. You see, you know how our people suffer here to eat pounded yam, pounding it traditionally. You see the Chinese developing how to pound it technologically. These are things that the youth should put their mind. There are so many things that they can add value. Look at something like beans. You can add value to it. The youth can add value to beans. Most of these beans are not well picked. There are those who can go and pick them, package them where that is adding value and add some money to it and be consistent in it. And they are in business. So that is basically what they need.
You know, there is technology
that they should go into the business of agriculture instead of doing what they are doing.
Yeah, there is a technology right now that I think is hydroponics. You don't need soil to grow food. Technology is increasing.
That one is even where you have scarcity of land.
Yes.
You can also.
But we have the land here.
Yeah, we have the land. The land is available in this country. Even if you don't have money to buy a land to farm, a young man don't have land to farm, it can be leased. There are people who wouldn't mind giving you their land. They just bought a land in a place, just giving it out to anybody who can farm there is a way of making sure that the land is not being contested by anybody. And so a youth can take advantage of that, go into production of so many things. Yeah. Even if it's a land close to the city, go into vegetable production, go into all the food production, things that will be easily moved between the suburb and the city center. And you are in business of agricultural contribution to the economy of the country.
Yeah, you know, I read a book, Startup Nations, on Israel.
Yes.
Israel is the startup nation. You see that Israel was a desert. Now Israel is a net exporter of food, and it's all technology.
Yes.
We have the land here, and one might suggest also that instead of state governments, especially those state governments where there is the issue of land, of course we have enough land, but where people think that land is not as fertile enough to grow enough food, you know, these young ones can actually be engaged in those kind of adding value to the land that they have there, and they make food, make forest, make the land better. Look at drones. Drones are used for agricultural purposes, yes. And these things are what young people love to do. So state governments can actually engage young people, and I say the onus is upon them also to engage people instead of living this kind of ostentatious lifestyle. State governments can engage people. Not only state governments, there are NGOs that can do it. Religious organizations can do it. In fact, international organizations can also. There are a lot of opportunities there, and this abuse the minds of these young people because what they are into is actually a way of self-destruction. When you begin to kill people, I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that someone, and it's something that is even difficult to mention on this medium, that I heard that somebody ate feces, his own feces, to get rich. How can you do such a thing? Imagine.
So yeah, and then the parents need to be more involved in their children.
Yes, that's another point.
Because there are things, some of us, if you had known it earlier on, it would have made a lot of difference in our lives. We didn't know it. But parents of today, they have opportunity because there are things that are available now, information that could help a young man, a young woman coming up. When your child is is growing up, and you want your child to be rich, get him or her engaged in books that will teach her how to become rich. There are books and materials out there that can help people. There are books that will help them change their mind. Buy biographies for them, biographies of successful businessmen, biographies of founders of banks, companies, organizations that have been very successful. Buy it for them. Look for books that will teach them how this thing works, that there is a process for it, so that they can learn it. They can learn it. And that is not it's not a magical something. It is sometimes it's even scientific.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a book, they call it The Science of Getting Rich. That book, why I'm mentioning it now, is that it is a free access book that was written in 1910. So it's like now it doesn't have any copyright infringement about it in terms of access, because there are platforms that are making it access for people in terms of audio version, in terms of print version, that you can get it access to online. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Books that will change the thinking of people so that they will know that there is a process of making money. And for you to make money, you must have a service that you can present, because without having a service, a product, there's no way money can come to you. It is based on what you can produce, the service you can render. That is how money comes to you. And it takes time. It is a build-up of years. Warren Buffett is one of the world's richest investors and one of the world's richest men. Warren Buffett started by selling newspapers in the streets.
Yeah.
Right from when he was in primary school. Today, he worth over 100 billion US dollars.
Yeah.
It's a process.
It's a process.
He wasn't a ritualist.
It wasn't.
Who go about killing people and cutting them into pieces.
Yeah.
If you read his biography, you see the steps he has taken over the years.
Yeah. Oh, the young people.
So that's what they should learn. Go into agriculture. Learn how to be successful in agriculture. There are books out there. Study them. And you are on your way to becoming rich without having to kill anybody. Without having to make any unnecessary sacrifice with a herbalist.
So young people, be man enough. Be man enough. Don't be a coward. Because when you want to kill people just to make money, it's cowardice. Don't be a coward. Don't be less than a human. Don't be an animal. Be a man. Be a human. Dignify yourself. There is dignity in labor. Get your money through the right means. Don't make money out of cutting short on another person's life. That is cruelty. So be man enough and stop doing all of this.
And of course, the law will catch up.
The law will catch up with you. Yes. And so that's how we want to draw the curtain onto this Money Radio. You have been on to the agribusiness segment of it from Leadership Podcast. Mr. Paul, thank you very much for bearing your mind on this issue. It's actually becoming a menace in society. You hear people just that's animalistic. So we want to say thank you very much. Thanks to you, our producers. I've been your host, Case Hammond. The last one we want to leave with you is be man enough. Go and make your money through the right means. Besides that, COVID-19 is real. Stay blessed. Go and get your jab and stay safe. Have a nice day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.